Hello everyone, I'm Fede. Welcome to my second analysis of the characters of OMORI. In this video, we will talk about Hero, in my opinion an underrated character, charismatic and universally loved. In fact, I love Hero as a character, because it's not a complicated one, but it's still very well written. For this video, I asked my girlfriend to help me write and record the video in order to make it better and more interesting. Before starting, I ask you to subscribe and also join my Discord. Obviously, if you didn't finish OMORI, I recommend you to play it before watching this video, as I'll talk about a lot of spoilers. Also, some of the things we say in this video are just personal thoughts and theories, but now let's start from the beginning and analyze the character from the start.
Before the incident, Hero was 15 years old, the same age as Mary. He was the peacemaker of the group, who tried to hold back his friends whenever they fought or the situation got a little bit out of hand. This is the first impression we get when we first meet Hero in the neighbor's room, but we have photos of Basil's album as a reference to describe aspects of his character. Instead, for other information about Hero, we have various quotes during the game. He is described as having a mild personality and fond of domestic chores, such as cooking, baking and cleaning, which makes him an ideal employee. He's a charismatic and admirable character, but also presents weaknesses that makes the character sometimes ironic. In fact, Hero is afraid of spiders and is physically weak. And also, Headspace Hero, after climbing the ladder to go to the other world, is very exhausted compared to the others. The most important thing to mention is that he's in love with Mary, and it's a mutual feeling. Obviously, it's not a theory. We are full of evidence that the two of them have this type of relationship, like these quotes during the picnic cutscenes. You can imagine how much he was attached to her, and that's why we realize immediately the pain he went through.
September 21, 1987. The day of the recital. Hero learns that Mary hanged herself behind her house. Why? Why did she do it? What did I do? Was she sick? Then why didn't she tell me anything? These are all the questions that Hero asked himself at that time and for the coming years to come. The person he loved the most commits suicide for no apparent reason. It's horrible when you think about it. A terrible situation. You're left alone with yourself, just your mind asking you questions, a really bad situation. In my opinion, Hero is the character that saddens me the most. How do we know that happened to Hero in the 4 years after the incident? If we go to the cemetery on the sunny road the first day in Faraway Town and interact with Mary's grave, Cal will start to tell us a lot about Hero's past. Hero loses his mind, locks himself in the house and stops going to school. Everything he did before had lost meaning. He had stopped cooking because it reminded him of Mary. Hero's isolation lasted almost a year, but one day Cal decided to talk to Hero during his outburst. Hero reacted very badly and started saying bad things against Cal. His parents intervened. Hero calms down, starts crying and runs to Cal to apologize and hug him. Since that day, as Cal says, Hero gradually returns to his normal life. Cal also says that although he spent 4 years, Hero still blames himself for what happened to Mary. Meanwhile, we learn that he had never visited Mary's grave, not once.
There are 2 days left until Sunny's move. Hero comes back in town after he spent 1 year in college. He rescues Basil and Sunny when they accidentally fell in the lake, and saves the situation. Now Hero is 19. He matured, but he remains the same Hero as before. In fact, he's still male wife. Hero is still afraid of spiders and good at everything. He's just a little bit more stronger, he doesn't cook anymore, and he's studying to become a doctor. Even if it seems that Hero moved on from Mary's death, in reality, he didn't. If you try to go to Mary's grave, Hero won't let you, because he's not ready to face Mary's loss. Now let me digress to talk about Hiro's family. Out of all the characters, Hiro and Kel have the best relationship with their parents. The only counterpoint of Hiro's parents is that they had high expectation of him, and they probably pushed him to become something he didn't want to be, thus a doctor. It's not important to the storyline, however, it's important to Hiro's character, so it's worth mentioning, even if it's just a personal thought. Going back to the story, Sunny, Kel, and Hiro go to Sunny's house to have a sleepover and spend more time together. Before going to sleep, they enter the piano room, and we learn that Hiro can play piano, and is even very good at it. Also, Hiro says that he hasn't practiced in a long time, probably because it reminded him of Mary. Also, it was probably Mary who taught him how to play it. If not, they for sure practiced together. During the night, Sunny wakes up and goes to the piano room because he heard the piano playing. He has an hallucination, therefore he can see Mary playing the piano and interact with them. Hiro interrupts the scene. He hears the duet motif too.
Despite Hiro is always trying to be a constant point of reference who doesn't give up, like a big brother, he still has a big weakness.
Then he invites Sunny to go back to sleep.
I want you to notice Hiro's face. He's holding back his true feelings. In fact,
if we enter the room again, Hiro cries, another proof that he didn't move on from Mary's death.
a lot of things happens in the last day. The most important is the visit to the cemetery. If you bought the flowers, you can put some of them in Mary's grave. In fact, this time Hiro lets you in, and he apologizes to Mary. You understand how hard it was for him to lose the girl he loved without knowing the truth. He spent 4 years blaming himself for her death and still does. Hiro calls himself selfish because he's ashamed he never visited her. Why selfish? Hiro ignored Mary's death because thinking about it would have made him feel so bad. Hiro has preferred to forget, so he never had to confront reality. If you think about it, Hiro coped with the trauma like Sunny did. Then the other friends comfort him. I always thought that being able to have a picnic in a cemetery was a weird thing, but I still managed to feel bad in that scene. Even when Aubrey confessed in Sunny's garden, Hiro acts like the big brother again and asks for a group hug. That's why we all love Hiro. No matter how much Hiro suffered, he still managed to act the right way and be positive. When the whole party goes to Basil's house and they decide to sleep there, Hiro asks Sunny to hang out together in the future. He wants to give proof that he can overcome the trauma. In fact, before, all of them have promised to remain always together despite the distance. He is on the phase of acceptance. Hiro faced the grief in this order. First, he had the phase of depression. Then the phase of anger lasted like Cal told us before. Then the phase of bargaining, and finally acceptance, but not completed yet. Mary's photos, Mary's grave and the tree of the suicide were all things that Hiro didn't want to see. But now Hiro has made great progresses in order to accept the grief. After this analysis, do you think Hiro forgave Sunny and Basil after their confession? We think he forgave them. Hiro is really a heartwarming character. We love him for that and he deserves more. We conclude the analysis of Hiro.
I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it interesting.
I thank, as always, the channel members who allow the realization of this kind of videos. See you on the next video.
Bye bye.